always knew that that was who I most was. You know, you have that place that you feel most like yourself. And that's, I knew, you know, reading and writing, that's just who I was. That's where I knew I was myself. But when I was kind of going through high school and making decisions about going to college and what to study, I was too frightened to think about studying creative writing, because I thought, who makes a living at this? I mean, who is a writer? You don't meet them. You know, who is a writer? That's not what one really does. So I was too scared to study it. And so I studied journalism, only to find that I was absolutely not a journalist. I'm a creative writer. We're an entirely different breed. I was maybe about, I had small children at the time. I was about 32, I guess. My son was about 2. My daughter was 5. And I realized that this was something I'd always wanted to do. I wanted to be a writer. I knew that's who I was. And yet I wasn't doing it. And the dream was kind of getting farther and farther out. And I thought, I'm going to be one of those people that says, you always wanted to be a, you know, I've always wished I were a, and that's what was going to happen if I didn't do something about it. And so I had a really serious talk with myself one day, and I just said, well, you're either going to do it or, you know, that's it. No more having this dream in your head. The one thing that kind of saved me is that after the first book I wrote, I was able to get, I always think that's a funny phrase, get an agent. And so there was this feeling that, you know, Velveteen Rabbit-wise, that I was nearly real, not quite real. And so it would be a matter of time. And, you know, I decided it was going to be something that no matter what, it was what I was going to keep doing. I just didn't want to be unreal anymore. You know, I wanted to be who I was. And that was kind of the quote above my desk, was the Nietzsche quote, become who you are. And I thought, I need to live a sort of in an authentic way. As a writer, I don't think about the age. I think about, you know, getting in there to what my character is feeling. You know, you turn the empathy on high and you get in there and you feel. You don't think about, I'm feeling like a 17-year-old. You're just feeling what it's like to, you know, be in love or really screw things up terribly, or to feel alone, or all of that. That's what you're doing, you're feeling. I know where I'm starting, and I know pretty much where I'm going to finish, or where I think I'm going to finish. And then I just, it's a free fall, really. I just kind of...
Always been that way?
Yeah, I think the very first thing I ever started to write, you know, you're kind of afraid. You're scared, you need something to hold on to. So sometimes that's an outline. And so I did that for a little while. And then I let it go, maybe halfway through. And then I realized, I fell into some sort of magic. It was like, really like a rabbit hole experience where you fall in and think, oh, wow, so this is what it is. You can't control it. It is a current, and you just kind of ride along. Not to say that you don't have, you know, you also have to have your hands on it in some way so that it's not completely out of control. I think you have to guard your heart. And they're the opposite things to try to do, so this is also impossible advice, but to guard your heart, because the truth is that the gates are high, and it is an impossible but possible thing. And so to guard that, because we are so vulnerable in this, and our hopes are so high, and our dreams are so kind of tender around it. So to guard that and understand the realities. And that's part of guarding it in my mind, is to really know what you're up against. And then the second part of that is to sort of embrace what you're up against and really be as courageous, fearless as you can. So to do both of those things, once you understand how hard it is, then go out there and be fearless and write honestly, and that requires fearlessness, and to try to get over the iron gates, and that requires fearlessness.